What is up, guys? Zan from the Zan Madden YouTube channel. Now, I'm not going to waste any of your time. We're going to get straight into a huge video today. I'm going to help you guys improve as passers by making better pre-snap reads. And don't worry, if you guys stick around to the end of the video, I will show you from the defense perspective how to play much better pre-snap coverage, because we're going to learn all the tells in this video. You want to make sure that you're locked in on this. So get out your notepads, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Drop a comment below to help push this video out in the YouTube algorithm. It reaches other Madden players just like you looking for tips and tutorial content. Now, what we're going to do here is we are going to show you in general how coverages tend to give away tells. And specifically, we have talked about in the past single high versus two high safeties. We're going to go a little bit deeper than that today, because there are tells for everything in the game that you need to know. And unless your opponent is on their P's and Q's, they are going to tip their hand with every single play call. So let's start off with the really easy stuff here. Now, for those of you at home, if you want to test this in your offense, call your favorite offensive formation. Make sure you put the ball on both hashes and test this theory out. Make sure you guys flip it short and wide side of the field as well. And then you guys will have a better idea of the tells as they pertain your specific offense that you run. Now, the biggest difference that you guys will notice in this game is single high versus two high. So let's start off with basically the two single high defenses you need to be aware of. These are traditionally going to be your cover one and also your cover three defenses. Cover one, you'll notice when we actually take a look here at this, you're going to see that those stock corners, the slot defenders, are basically rolled up a little bit. You're going to see in particular one at least be kind of rolled up into inside technique, basically 3 yards off the line of scrimmage. This would be a press player, typically speaking. So you're definitely going to notice that. And then on the other side, you're going to see another slot defender basically head up at about a 4.5, 5 yard depth. The difference between cover one and cover three is something that you need to notice very quickly. When your opponent breaks the huddle in cover three, you're going to notice right away that the corners are both at about 5 yards off the ball in the slot. So you're going to see single high in a 2x2 look here. You're going to see the corners at about 5 yards. On the outside, you're going to see the corners at about 7-8 yards off the ball. Again, if I were to audible into cover one, you're going to see a direct tell. Look at how that corner lines up a little bit closer. Look at how the other one shifted just a little bit. And then again, look at the posture and the stances of these corners when they're in this alignment. The outside corners don't really tip their hands too much. They stay in the same types of animations every single time, but it is, again, the corners that are going to, in the slot, give away the tells of the offense. Now, as I mentioned, you guys want to test this short and wide side of the field. So what you guys need to do is make sure you move the ball to the hash. If you guys don't know how to do that, you're going to press and hold the left stick in and then tap the left trigger. It's going to pop the ball off the turf and you can move the ball wherever you want on the field. Place it on a hash mark so that way you can get a look at this. So again, you take a look here, the tells in cover three, and then you see the tells in cover one. Big time difference. You're going to know right away that this is your pre-snap tell in any cover one versus cover three. Now, I'm going to show this to you in a different nickel defense real quick. So let's go ahead and call it double mug. So again, we got a cover one hole and a cover three sky. Up front is a little bit different, but the postures and the techniques of the DBs are the same. You see the one in the man-to-man kind of rolled up a little bit closer. The other one kind of standing about 4.5 yards off the ball. If I audible into cover three, look at how you're going to see a difference in the postures. Look at again, the techniques of these players. Again, if I were to come out in cover three here, you're going to see, again, single high defense. You're going to see, look at the postures. You're seeing that you've got one corner on the left kind of rolled up a little bit tight here, but again, he's in this technique, whereas in the cover one, you will see, actually, if we audible into this, there is a slight difference. So again, you're going to want to discern whether or not this is cover three or cover one based off of those techniques. If you guys are in a situation where you can't figure it out, the easiest way to tell is a quick motion. The reason I say that is that your opponent will have their player follow you across the field. This will give you that pre-snap tell if you're ever stuck between cover three, cover one, and you're not going to really struggle with this. So if I were to be, for instance, here on the defensive side of the ball, actually in cover three, you see here how that safety kind of moved around for one. If I do this same motion, notice how the linebacker slides out of the gap. That's a big tell. And that player also stops following and he basically wedges up at the edge relative to the next receiver in, which is our running back out of the backfield. So these are the tells for cover three and cover one. Now let's go ahead and get into the two high defenses for this. And again, with two high defenses, we're looking at quite a few options, to be honest with you. This could be a two-man under, this could be a cover two Tampa two, and this could also be a cover four quarters, palms, or maybe even a cover 6 or cover 9. So we have a lot on our plate, but don't worry, it's going to be very, very easy. Now, again, before I break those down, make sure you guys are subscribed right here to the channel. This channel is going to help you guys out absolutely free, but if you're fiending for more, you need to check out gridirongameplans.gg, my strategy website. It's been open for 5 years, the industry leader in tips, Madden, and college football 25. You guys can get everything on the website. We got memberships for combo memberships, monthly, yearly savings, a members only Discord. Lab sessions begin next week in our Discord channel. Make sure you guys are taking advantage of those deals. Right now, early in the year is the best time to get better at the game, stay ahead of the competition, not have to spend as much on MUT packs. If you guys are playing Ultimate Team, I will get you guys to a spot where you will spend less on the game, even if you feel weird about paying for tips. And the best part is a lot of this is universal conceptual, meaning that I teach you a concept like today's video, and you can apply it into your offense or defense immediately within reason. So make sure you guys go check it out. Far and away the best deal in the tip space. So let's go ahead and set all of these too high defenses as audibles. All right, so I'm going to set a little cover 6, a little cover 4. Quarters and palms basically have similar pre-snap look, so I'm not going to set one there. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw down maybe a cover 9 show 2 and also a Tampa 2. I'm going to come out in 2-man under, however, because this is the most obvious one of the group. You're going to see 2 high safeties, and every single person across the board will be lined up in press technique. This is not a hard one to figure out because every single one of the rest of the 2 high defenses I'm about to show you look nothing like this. So if you ever see this, you know right away, hey, this is cover 2 man under. There's deep half safeties on both sides of the field. Everything underneath has man to man, which means that the user is most likely responsible for somebody. So you want to make sure that you're putting them in stress situations. But let's go ahead here, and we're now going to audible into cover 2 Tampa 2. So you have 2 high zone and 2 high man. 2 high zone, again, very, very obvious. When you take a look at this, look at our slot defenders. They're not rolled up in press technique. Look at our outside corners. They are lined up about 5 yards off the ball, shoulders square, perpendicular to the line of scrimmage. Again, if I were to reset this and you take a look at this versus the cover 2 Tampa 2, you're going to notice a huge difference in the way that these guys line up technique wise. It is a big time tell. Even when your opponent decides pre-snap to press, you're going to notice that the zone corner does not roll up into press. Rather, I misspoke. The zone linebacker on the right side does not roll up into press. If I were to audible into 2-man under, again, you see here that they do. So again, here is 2-man under, and here is Tampa 2 press. You see that everyone is pressed except for just the guy that's in the slot. Now, if this were a dime defense, you might notice a little bit of a difference, but you're going to run into nickel more often than dime. So that's why I chose nickel for this video. So cover 2 Tampa 2, you obviously will also be able to tell when they're pressed. Look at the leverage of the corners. Outside cloud flats are responsible for pressing the outside receivers. So what they do is they want to shove them inside. Last thing they want to do is let a receiver get an outside release into the sideline, making that safety have to create width in the defense to guard that throw over the top of the cloud flat. So cloud flats want to actually shove those routes to the inside, so they're going to automatically play an outside technique. Again, when we're playing 2-man under press, the help is the sideline and over the top. So they're going to play press technique underneath and inside. So you're going to be able to tell, again, if the linebacker isn't giving it away, this will. Okay, so those are your tells for 2-man under versus cover 2 zone. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to quarters, because quarters is match coverage, and it's still a 2 high defense, but this one has a very, very distinct look to it. If you ever see 2 high corners on the outside off in about a 7-yard depth, this is 1000% match coverage. Okay, even if you roll up into press alignment with these corners, again, let's compare cover 4 quarters pressed and the way that it looks right here to 2-man under pressed. So again, 2-man under, look at the difference. Technique of the corners inside a little bit more. Cover 4 quarters pressed, straight up, straight up, straight up. And again, the trend here, the linebacker covering the slot, not pressing in quarters press. In 2-man under, he will play press. And again, everybody is squeezed in just a little bit more. Another subtlety that you may notice with this is if you play press quarters, look at how the safeties line up. This is a very, very slight difference. Now I'm going to audible to 2-man under. Look at how the safeties get better width, even when you press here. It's very, very similar, but there is a slight difference. That cover 2-man under, you're going to notice that the safeties have better width. Okay, so they're going to give that away right as you break the huddle. So even if they say, okay, I'm in 2-man under, and then they press again anyways, if you see those safeties squeeze in, you know immediately that it is basically a 2-man under that they are repressing. If you notice that they're in cover 4 and you see this, you know right away, oh, hey, those corners were rolled off way too far for this to be 2-man under. And you're gonna basically know that it's cover 4 right off the rip. Now what we need to do is we need to discern the difference between the different types of match coverage. Again, I've already said that quarters and also palms are very, very similar. In fact, they're identical in the way they show pre-snap. They differ in their rules post-snap, and that's another video for another time. Now, I left cover 9 for last, and I want you to kind of note here, look at this. This is cover 9. And this defense is cover 6. So the thing about cover 6 and cover 9 is all that changes is which side is the cover 4 side and which side is the cover 2 side. The difference is that unlike cover 6, where one corner is really rolled up in press, and cover 9, in which both corners are rolled up in press, you're basically in a spot here where you're like, oh, based off of those outside corner depths, I'm not 100% sure. This is probably cover 2, but it also could be cover 9 against this specific offense. Again, take this into trips and you'll notice a different behavior, one in which the outside corner is actually going to play a stock press alignment. So if I were to actually audible into, I actually don't want to be in trips because that's a trips over. I want to be in this alignment here. What you're oftentimes going to notice when we call, like, for instance, like a cover 6, you'll actually see how that corner in this cover 6 defense is now in press and the other one is in off alignment. That's another tell again. So again, doubles versus twins, there's slight tells. Do the same thing I'm doing right here and you'll figure them out for your offense. But cover 9, cover 2, there is obviously going to be a slight tell. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to break huddle in cover 9. And you will see that if I audible into cover 2, you're going to notice a big change in the width of the slot linebacker. Okay. So this is what it looks like in cover 9. Again, that safety, look at the depth of the safety. The safety kind of tells you. Again, you see right there, he's about, give or take 11 yards off the ball, 12 yards off the ball. 12 yards is the match tell. So if I were to be in quarters, look at how the other safety rolls down. So again, those depths of those safeties are a dead giveaway. But again, notice here, outside corners, I can't tell cover 2 or cover 9, but if you look at the safeties, they will tell you. They will tell you. So that is how you can tell the difference between cover 9 and cover 2. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this from the other perspective. Zan, you just gave everyone the sauce to figure out exactly what my defensive coverage is. But the good news is there are ample ways to disguise all of this. Let's start off with the most basic. On the defensive side of the ball, click in at the play call menu, the coach adjustment stick, go down to auto alignment and choose base align. This is an old school Madden feature that we have always used that gives you the same look. This allows for better width to your defense if you're struggling with guarding outside runs or throws to the flat. But it also disguises every single coverage call as the same thing. So cover 2 looks the same as cover 4, looks the same as cover 6, looks the same as cover 9. And if I were to honestly have the single high defenses as well, you're going to see the exact same thing. So I'm going to call base align cover 3. And you see right here, this is cover 3. And then if I audible into cover 6, nobody moves. If I audible into cover 2, nobody moves. If I reset the play to cover 3, nobody moves. And then this would be the same if I were in 2-man under as well. Okay. Everybody stands in the same spot. It helps hide this a little bit better. Now, if you're playing someone that is very, very smart, you can actually avoid playing baseline and start playing head games with a new feature in this game. And this is called shells. So all those things I taught you about shell, you look at the safety depth, you look at the corner width, you look at the slot alignments, you look at the linebackers, are they walked out? This can all be used against your opponent if they watch this video and this is all they watch. If they aren't aware of the shell feature, you guys can actually, at the same play call menu, instead of flicking in the stick for baseline, just start flicking the right stick left and right. You'll see that you could show different shells. So for instance, this is cover 6, flick it again, cover 4, flick it again, cover 3, flick it again, cover 2. So let's talk about that cover 6. Let's say, for instance, my opponent has been really good at calling up a match beater to the cover 4 side of my cover 6 when I've called it. Maybe on a big down and distance, you might say, all right, he's really shredding that cover 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call cover 3, but I'm going to show cover 6. So then they break the huddle and they say, oh man, that outside corner on the right's rolled up into a 4-yard depth, 5 yards. That probably is a cover 2. Oh, look at that safety up top. Look at the width of him. He's further back. that looks like a cover 2 as well. Over on the other side of the field, we have off coverage corner to that side, slot corner and off coverage, safety directly over the second receiver, numbering outside to inside. That appears to be the match side. So this is cover 6. So what do you think they're going to do? Obviously, they know this is cover 6 based off of the pre-snap look that you're giving them. So they're going to set up their cover 2 beater to one side. Maybe it's a smash combo, whatever it is. And then they're probably going to set up some sort of quarters beater, which could be a deep out route from the slot on the wide side or the short side of the field where the match side is. So now again, when you go ahead and you run this and the ball is actually snapped, they go to look at their smash combo. It's muddied up. And you see right there that we don't have the cover 2 to that side. And then if they were to scan to the backside where their match beater was, now all of a sudden, oh, well, hey, that's not actually match. And that out route, if I were to throw it, is going to be picked by that player. So you could bait your opponent, who is a smart player, knows their pre-snap stuff, by actually avoiding the baseline stuff altogether and saying, you know what, my opponent's smart. Let's use that against him. This is a great way to kind of take advantage of opponents that have put in their lab work and they know their shell coverage. Again, you could do this with 2-man under. I mean, this is actually one of the best ways to do this is you could actually go 2-man under and play Tampa 2. Now, the thing that you have to be aware of with this is that if they do say, okay, this looks like 2-man under based off of the press alignment by everybody, if you motion, he's still gonna stop. So that man zone tell is always gonna be there when you go to do this motion. So you have to be aware that that is a thing. In college football specifically, there actually is a feature that is a respond to motion feature. You honestly could do maybe a man alignment. What this would do is if you come out showing 2-man under on man align, this will make it so that when you do the motion, it's supposed to follow. But again, it doesn't really give away that tell. Actually, college football has another tool that you can use here with this. So again, unless you're really motioning the slot corner, you know, the player that's aligned with the slot corner, you're not really going to see this behavior. So you see right here, the corner did run with it. But again, this tell doesn't really exist if you're truly in the man under. So you're still going to see players sliding around when you do this motion. You're going to know right away, oh, it's actually zone, but he's, you know, trying to figure it out by using that tell. So again, offense is going to win if they use motion. You're trying to disguise man. But honestly, I like the idea of really showing cover 3 or even, you know, a match style coverage, but then even playing like a 2-man under as well. So let's say, you know, I was on defense, I'm showing cover 3, but I'm playing 2-man. You're gonna get all the techniques of the cover 3 pre-snap. Again, the depths of the corners in the slot and the single high safety. But then when you decide to do that man zone tell and you do this motion, you're actually gonna see that this is gonna give you kind of that cover 1 vibe, but it might be 2-man under. Again, this is up to you. I mean, again, if I were to be in, for instance, actually like quarters here, and I were to do this same thing, you see that the man align is a little foobar here. It does look like he's running with him, but again, we're in zone. I don't want to take you too crazy deep into this just because you're going to have to readjust zones on the fly while giving the illusion that it's actually man-to-man. That's probably, again, another video for another time. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video taking you through all the shells. If your opponents are lazy and they don't set base align, you guys can take advantage of this all game long. They're probably going to show you maybe one particular shell, like cover 3 every down. But again, if you're wanting for man zone tells, you can always do motion and figure those things out as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, this is Zan. Get the lab in. Good luck.